So as a continuation, okay, as a continuation of the yesterday's session, today what we are going to see is, I said qualifier annotation is there, qualifier annotation and you know what, primary annotation. Actually, both qualifier and primary annotations we are going to use generally to, avoid ambiguity while injecting the dependencies. Okay. So I said already, use qualifier annotation. Use qualifier annotation. Say for example, right? Okay. For example, use qualifier annotation when while creating, means not configuration, at the time of developing the code only. Suppose if you find any ambiguity, then use qualifier annotation to resolve that ambiguity. Use at primary annotation what use at primary annotation, right? So during configuration, at the configuration time, suppose if you are finding that there is an ambiguity going to occur, then to give a more priority for a bean, use primary. A bean with this primary annotation will have more priority in ambiguity situations. So let's discuss about how this can be. Okay, right. Just by taking a small example to understand this, first I'll talk about a primary, then I'll talk about a qualifier. Okay, see, just I'm writing a sample code to understand the qualifier and primary. In an application, we are going to use both of them also sometimes. Both of them also we are going to use qualifier and primary. Okay, see, uh, let us take an example for understanding this. Okay, let us take an example for understanding this. See, for example, I'm writing one controller. Assume that I'll also write a configuration here. Here I'm writing, for example, some controller I'm creating. Say some controller I'm writing here. Say the controller what I'm writing is something like, it doesn't matter, something. Say at controller. Right. Say something like, okay. Public class. Say like it is a customer controller. I'm writing it auto void. Okay, I'm just using, you try to understand now. Say something like, say REST template. It's like a template one, something like. Okay, next. Actually, I am again auto varying. Otherwise, I'll add the remaining code next. So now this is a controller, and it depends, it has a dependency. This customer controller has REST template dependency, and it is an object dependency. So this object can be injected through auto-void. Okay, object dependencies, collection dependencies can be auto-void by Spring container. I mean, the Spring framework. Now in the configuration class, say for example, here I am writing a configuration class. Let me write a configuration class over here. Configuration classes are indicated with at configuration. I said already, this stereotype annotations are used to tell the role of a class. And I just want to tell one more thing, that by writing at configuration class, we are telling that this is a Java configuration class. Only Java configuration classes are loaded while initializing the application context, right? If you write, for example, at service annotation on top of a class, and if you try to load that class at the time of initializing an application context, will give an exception. Because reason, while loading the configuration from a Java class, first of all, Spring will check whether is it a configuration class or not. So to indicate that, or to specify that yes, this is a Java configuration class, we have annotation called at configuration. So I would like to write at configuration over here. At configuration, at component scan, that generally we use, write all of them at configuration. Then I use write what at some component scan. As you know, yesterday it has some element called base packages. And we used to provide some package name over there, leave it. Next I'm writing, so this is my application config class. So class name can be any name, I'm writing like this. So here I would like to, here I would like to write a bean method. So in configuration class, we can define bean methods. So bean methods in a configuration class will have at bean annotation at method level. That at bean is an indication that this method returns an object to be registered as a bean in the container. An object returned by the method is going to be registered as a bean in the container. That's what a bean method. So bean method returns an object. That object is registered in container as a bean. Right, sir. So let's try to discuss the point here. I would like to explain. I will write at bean. Look at this. Say for example, I'm writing public say it returns a REST template. Say it is a RT1 is a method. The code goes there. See, actually in the configuration, I am also going to actually configure one more bean method which returns a load balanced REST template object. It is just only a normal REST template object, ordinary REST template object. But say for example, I'm creating one more bean method at a bean. Okay, at a bean. Say for example, there is an annotation called at load balanced. In Spring REST, I'm going to talk about all these things. Say for example, public. REST template is the return type. See, RT2 is a bean method I created. So now if you look at the code what we have written here. If you look at the code what I have written. Now see what is happening here. Here the concept is, this is a bean method which returns a REST template object. This is another bean method which also returns a REST template, but it is a load balanced REST template object. Both are REST template objects only. So in the configuration, we are finding two REST template objects are going to be registered in container. When two objects of same type are registered in container, then definitely what there is a ambiguity is going to occur in auto vary. In auto vary, ambiguity is going to occur. Now, what I would like to say, what I would like to register is, I want to specify that a REST template object which is load balancer type, okay, should have more priority than an ordinary REST template object in auto vary. See, when I'm writing this controller, I don't know. Means in the when I'm defining the application class, I don't know. When I'm defining the application class, I don't know. Ambiguity is going to occur or not. But when I come to configuration, generally configurations comes after code. But when I'm writing the application configuration, then I found that what? There is a chance of getting an ambiguity. Okay, because two REST template objects are registered in container, then definitely there is a chance of getting an ambiguity at auto vary. And at configuration time, I came to know. So that's the reason. What I would like to do here, to give more priority for this REST template object of type load balanced, I use annotation called at primary. So I have used what annotation? So which annotation I have used? So look at this. I have used annotation called what? At primary. At primary annotation is going to be used at this method level. So by writing this at primary annotation at method level, now this object will have more priority in auto vary. I came to know that at configuration time. Very good. Now come back to this controller. Now in controller, I would like to say in controller, okay, get the point clearly. In controller, now here we have auto word annotation. Are clear now? In controller, we have auto word annotation. So now which object is auto word? REST template object is auto word. Which REST template object is auto word? Load balance REST template object is auto word. Because in ambiguity, now a bean with the primary annotation will have more priority. Now that is auto word. But in my next, I would like to continue. In my controller, I need two REST template objects. One is an ordinary REST template object and other one is a load balancer REST template object. I want both of them in my controller. So for example, I'm writing, for example, I'm writing, look at this, at the rate auto void. Say for example, @autovile, REST template. Template 2. So now, let me talk about the requirement. I will like to tell you the requirement. So here is a customer controller. I have two REST template objects, which is like a template 1 and template 2. Right? So let's move on. Now the requirement is this template 2 to this reference variable template 2 load balance REST template object should be injected. But to this template 1, an ordinary REST template object need to be injected. Right. Good now. Okay. Right. Now, is my screen visible to all of you now? Yeah. Is my screen visible to you? Okay. Good. Okay. Right. Nice. Nice. Look at my point, everyone. Understand this point clearly. See, look at this now. This is a primary annotation, right? This is a primary annotation. So my requirement is in the second REST template object. If I don't use qualifier annotation, now what's going to happen in a template 1 and template 2 in the two reference variables, in both of the reference variables like template 1 and template 2, what's going to happen? Okay. In a template 1 and template 2, what is going to happen? The REST template object registered with ID RT2 will be injected because this bean has primary annotation. So a bean with a primary annotation will have more priority in ambiguity. So use primary annotation to give more priority for a bean. So now for in template 1 and template in both the two reference variables, what is going to be injected? REST template object is injected. In both template 1 and template 2, this load balanced REST template object is injected. Right? But my requirement is in this reference variable template 1, an ordinary REST template object should be injected. And in template 2, the reference variable template 2, load balanced REST template object need to be injected. Load balancing you are going to see in microservices with a ribbon. So that is the difference now. Template 1, template 2. So now see, right now in this code, what happens in a template 1 and in template in both of them, you know what? Load balanced REST template object is going to be injected in both template 1 and template 2. Load balanced REST template will be injected, but my requirement is in a template 1, ordinary REST template object is need to be injected, and in template 2, load balanced REST template object need to be injected. So in that case, I would like to add annotation. I would like to add annotation at qualifier of the ID or name of the bean is RT1. Have written like this now. I'm using at auto word at qualifier. Oh, correct. Now here I'm covering both of them. Primary annotation over here, qualifier annotation over here. So by writing the code like this, what's happening? To this template 1, to this reference variable, this ordinary REST template object is injected, is auto void. And to this template, to the second reference variable, load balanced REST template object is injected. Oh, correct. So like this, you can find a difference between primary and qualifier. Have you understood? Have you understood now? Okay. Okay. Right. So both annotations at primary and qualifier, both annotations I would like to cover at one time. Right. Okay, right. Yeah. So you got the difference between primary and qualifier. Use primary. Suppose if you came to know that there is an ambiguity is going to occur during configuration time, use qualifier. If you came to know that there is an ambiguity is going to occur at, like at coding time, that is the difference you can find between primary and qualifier. But both are going to be used. I mean, both will be used to resolve ambiguity. Sometimes both are also required to be used, like in our case. Like in our case. And one more question asked here. Primary, yes, primary can also be used at class level. Here I am using at bean method level, but we can also use at class level. Okay, that primary annotation using at class level I'll explain next. This is a simple point that you have to understand here. And we can't use, see, auto word annotation is actually has an element called required. Annotations contains elements. Annotation will have elements. Elements are also called attributes of the annotation. And at auto word annotation has an element called required element. This auto word annotation has a required element. So at auto word annotation has a required element. If I at required, but default value of required is true. Okay. Required true means dependency must be injected, is mandatory. Dependency is required. Right. In before this is spring, I think 3 or some version, we have annotation called at required separately. But now this at required annotation is not available now, is removed, and is simply given as an attribute in auto word annotation called required is equal true. So suppose if no dependency found for auto wiring, if the container is doesn't find any matching dependency, if it doesn't find any matching object to auto wire, then an exception will be raised. Means when you write auto word, it becomes a required dependency, not optional dependency. Suppose if you want to make it as an optional dependency means if dependency found, then the container will inject, means will auto wire the dependency, will auto wire the dependency object. In case if not found, it's not going to inject the dependency, nothing but it is the property is unwired. Unwired means not wired. If it is not wired, it's going to have a default value, like a reference variable is going to have a default value called null. So let's okay, let's have a discussion on this. So auto word annotation has required element. The default value of required is true. Okay, right. Okay. Means dependency is mandatory. It indicates a dependency must be injected by the container. In case if container unable to find a matching dependency, then an exception will be raised, like unsatisfied dependency exception. We will get such type of exception. That is mandatory dependency. And if you want to make the dependency as optional dependency, then provide required the attribute, provide the required attribute with auto word annotation with the value false. So you can write at the rate auto word required is equal to false. That is the point what you have to understand here. Right. So next. Let's come to discuss about using primary at a class level. See, simple example I'm taking up to understand that. Primary can also be, this is annotation I'm using at method level. As you know that at the beginning of the sessions I told, while creating annotations, means otherwise while defining annotations only, a target annotation will be used to specify the which elements of the application this annotation can be used. Like some annotation can be used at class level, some annotation can be used at method level, some annotation can be used at both class level and method level, right? Some annotation can be used at only method level and field level. For example, take auto word annotation. I cannot use auto word annotation at the class level. You can't find anywhere at the rate auto word annotation at the class level because you can't use that. But you can use it at field level, at constructor level, and also at the method level. Means at the setter method level. Right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Some annotations can be used at method level, some annotations can be used at class level, some annotations can be used at constructor level, like that. Auto word annotation cannot be used at class level. Primary annotation can be used at both method level and also at class level. It is allowed to use at method level and also at class level. See, let's try to have the difference. Load balanced Ashok Kumar Reddy, wait till microservices. I told already in microservices we are going to use that. Why are you asking again? Right. Let's move on. See, for example, these are all some of the basics which first I would like to provide so that it is convenient for you to understand the Spring Boot. right? Say for example, I have an interface. Okay. Say for example, I have an interface. Say for example, I would like to use my interface name is report. It's an interface. I'm writing I in brackets, which is in indicating an interface, right? Next. I'll tell you. Okay. Which dependence injection also I'll tell you. Okay. Just wait. That is a sequence. Next point. Now, this interface has two implementations. Say, for example, I am writing two implementations like, one implementation class name is a sales report. It is an implementation class. It is class. Say it's one more implementation class is there like something like a deliveries report. See, when I have an interface with two implementation classes in my code. A report is an interface. Sales report and deliveries report both are implementations. Okay, right? So now I will explain. You know that the sales report, which implements report, as you know, delivers report, which also implements report. Sales report, deliveries report, both are implementations of report. Sales report implements report, deliveries report also implements report. Are you getting my point? Let's try to start here. When I'm writing a class like this now, so of course, say for example, both are two components. So when I'm writing a component, and I would like to write public class, like sales report, implements report. Okay, this is one class. Another component I'm writing deliveries report. Say public class, something like what a deliveries report, which implements report. Are you getting my point? Now, which is a sales report and it is a deliveries report. Sales report implements report, deliveries report implements report. Both are components only, right? Now, I know when I'm writing these classes, I know that when a report object is going to be auto-wide, okay, when a report object is going to be auto-wide into some other bean, definitely ambiguity is going to occur. Because sales report is a component of type report, deliveries report also a component of type report. So while auto-wiring a component of an object of type report to another bean, ambiguity is going to occur. So if I know that, well, when I'm creating my class, so my requirement is I would like to tell the Spring, I want to Okay. It seems that there is a bit network issue at my side. Right. So anyhow, I would like to tell. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's continue. See, my the requirement, I just want to say that whenever I would like to, okay, whenever at the time of defining classes, if I want to provide more priority for deliveries report, then I can use annotation primary at the class level. So what does it mean? Whenever the Spring is going to auto wire a report object, okay, whenever it is going to auto wire a report object, so it is going to auto wire the deliveries report object. And say suppose to a bean, if a bean wants sales report object, then along with auto word qualifier annotation also used to provide a bean name which the container has to inject. Qualifier annotation always used to specify the bean name, nothing but a bean ID. Bean name means bean ID. Okay, so finally, what I want to explain here, auto word and primary annotation can also be used at class level. That is what the point which I want to tell you now. Right. So the two annotations which I have explained you now is at qualifier annotation and at primary annotation. Both are actually provided for resolving ambiguity in auto wiring. Sometimes both are going to be used in the same application. Sometimes both are going to be used in the same application. That is right. Okay. That is a difference that you are finding between primary and qualifier. So the one more thing, when you write at auto while, generally when you write at value annotation at a field level for injecting value types, or if you write at the rate auto word annotation at a field level. So in annotations, we have a new type of injection that is called a field injection. Field injection, I mean, whenever an object of a bean is created, means whenever a bean is created, automatically the fields are get injected. Like a setter injection, constructor injection, we have a field injection. That is, of course, in annotations only we have that. When you have XML configurations, only we have constructor injection, setter injection, and other two injections which we use rarely. That is a lookup method injection and a, uh, interface injection. Mostly we use constructor, setter, the two types of injections. Right. So let's start with the point here. I would like to say one thing. I would like to tell you one thing. Say for example, if I write at auto word, I can use auto word at field level. Okay, for example, I'm writing at auto word. Of course, I'm writing a variable like this now. Customer service ref, customer service. Say for example, I would like to use reference variable name service. See here I am writing at a field level. Okay, at the field level, we can add auto word annotation. This is at a field level. If I write at field level, this is called field injection. Field injection. In annotations, we have a field injection. Once object is constructed for a class, automatically Spring will inject the dependencies at field level. Means field level dependencies are injected by the Spring container. It is not coming under any setter. You are not defining any setter method here again. or you are not defining any constructor. Most of the times we are going to use, because we are using annotations. Now, most of the times we are going to add these annotations like at AutoWord, at value, all them at field level. So that no need of defining a constructor for injecting the dependency or a setter method for injecting the dependency. No need of defining a constructor or no need of defining a setter method for injecting the dependency. Just you can add this annotation at the field level. Right. Say for example, I'm writing a class like, okay, for example, I'm writing a class like public. Customer controller. Right. Now here it is a field level. At AutoWord at the field level, customer service. Now this is AutoWord at a field level. So if I write at field level, then I no need of defining any constructor or no need of defining any setter method. I'm not defining any setter method. Then all the remaining methods will follow here. Say for example, I'm writing something like, at a get mapping or at post mapping, something like, say for example, at get mapping, customers. I mean, this is a get endpoint I'm defining. Say public, which returns a list of customers. Say for example, get customers is a method I'm defining. And I would like to define some logic over there. Right. So if you look at this, I have only AutoWord and at field level. Customer service, I am defining at class level. Sorry, I am defining at field level. Customer service at field level, I am defining this annotation. Right. The same annotation we can use at constructor level, or we can also use it setter method level. This annotation can be used at anywhere. Most of the times we use value AutoWord annotations at the field level only, so that we can avoid writing the constructor, or we can avoid, we can avoid the writing parameters constructor, and also we can avoid writing the setter method. Okay, right. And one more thing, when you are using this AutoWord annotation at constructor level, right? While using it constructor level, if for example, okay, you are writing multiple parameters constructors, 2 or 3 parameter constructors you are writing. So when there are more than one parameters constructor, because you can write a constructor with the different arguments multiple times. That's what we are calling as overloading, constructor overloading. So when you write this annotation at constructor level, and if a class has multiple parameters constructors, and if you are adding this AutoWord annotation at multiple constructors, then a constructor with more number of arguments will be used for auto-vary. That is a point. Just generally we don't get the type of situations in the code, but still it's a point just to remember. See, for example, I have a constructor with 1 parameter, constructor with 2 parameters, constructor with 3 parameters. And I'm adding this AutoWord annotation at constructor with 1 argument, at 2 arguments, and at 3 arguments. Then in that case, what the Spring container will execute a constructor with 3 arguments, highest number of arguments, more number of arguments. for auto varying. We'll choose that constructor for auto varying. So if you write at the rate auto orientation or multiple constructors in a class, then the Spring will execute a constructor with more number of arguments. That is what just a point I just want to remind you. Most of the times we are going to use at field level only. We don't define a constructor for injecting the dependency, or we don't define a setter method for injecting the dependency. So we always use, the, annotation at a field level. Okay. Right. So that is one more thing that I would like to remind you. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Good. Next, one more question asked by Ramesh is at bean and at component the same time. Actually, at bean, I would like to tell you, first of all, that's a route at the time of learning annotations. You have to identify, first of all, where it is applicable. See, at component is applicable only at a class level. And you cannot use it at anywhere else. At component annotation is applicable only at a class level. At a bean annotation is applicable only at a method level. Then tell me how you can use both of them at a time. Right? So that is the point. So both you cannot use at a time, because at component you can use at class level, and this at a bean annotation you can use at method level. Are you getting this point? Okay. At auto word annotation is not only just for injecting an object, means object dependency. It can also be used for injecting collection dependency. Okay, collection dependencies also can be injected through auto word annotation only. Say a little bit. Just I would like to write here. See. Mm. Are there any inspection tools to verify what is coded? Inspection tools in the sense we have at the time when you are executing the application, then you can able to see what beans are registered, what mappings are done. I mean, what endpoints are defined. All these things. I would like to tell you uh, those things. Okay, those things we can find out through actuator. Okay, actuator is one in Spring when Spring is concerned. And if you want to find some other, then you can use JMX console. JMX console means again external configurations are required for that. For your coding, that is the only way. Debugging otherwise. Manual debugging. Separate inspection tools means I think we don't have anything. At the runtime, suppose if you want to inspect your application, how it is executing, then you can use either a JMX console, otherwise you can get the information through some web endpoints provided by actuator. Spring Boot actuators are there with the endpoints you can find. These are the only two things. Right. So yeah, collection is also an object only, but it is an object of objects. Right. Okay. So it's not a single object; it's a group of objects, no? Right. That is also, I mean, we can auto wire. So auto word annotation can be used for injecting objects and even collections also. Okay. So let me write here a bit code here. For example, because while injecting collections, a little bit difference is there. A bit difference is there. I would like to tell you the difference. Say, for example, let me write a code here. Suppose, see, I'm defining a component here. Say for example, at component, public class, say for example, uh, something like a customer management. Here I'm writing list of string, say for example, customer types. I have a customer types list of string customer types. Uh, Now here again, I would like to tell you. Okay, list of string customer types. So of course I can use annotation called at auto while. Okay, at the rate auto while. So now we are going to start discussing this configuration. I'm writing configuration class at configuration. And at the rate components can, okay. I mean, I'm not writing every time, just it is a class app config. It is just only for understanding purpose. Okay, we're not writing complete compile code to compile. So here I would like to write something at bean method. So public a list of string, a list of string. Just I would like to write types. And here I'm just going to write something, some code here. Like for example, return, I can use arrays class to construct a list. Now, so for example, I'm writing arrays dot as list. And I would like to write some list of strings here. Customer types. Now, so for example, distributor is one customer type. So distributor, maybe wholesaler, retailer, something. Leave over that. Now what happens now? This is auto wiring this collection. Okay, it is a list. It is a list of strings. Say for example, this is a list with the customer types like distributor, wholesaler, retailer, like that. Okay. For example, in the same configuration, I also created one more. I also created one more bean method, which also returns a list of strings. Public. You know what list of string? Public list of string. And I would like to say it is something like, suppose names. And say, for example, return, say, arrays dot as list. And I can use to write some names here, X, Y, Z. So here actually here I would like to auto where what customer types. So now what happens with these bean methods in the Spring container? There are two are registered. Two beans are registered, and both are of type list only. List of string type only, generic type string. So I just want to, I just want to explain all of you. While auto varying this collection, while auto varying collection, what is going to happen generally? If there is more than one object is registered in container of type list now, ambiguity occurs. To resolve this ambiguity, we are going to use again @qualifier. Otherwise, we can use @primary in the configuration. Otherwise, we can use @qualifier along with @autovoid. With autovoid, use @qualifier. Lastly, one point I want to tell. But when it comes to auto varying collections, a small difference is there. The difference is, first, while auto varying collections, Spring is going to check, is there any bean name matching with the property name or not? So I actually written this code to explain this small point only. Otherwise, again, separate unit of explaining qualifier and primary. Today, we already discussed about primary and qualifier. But one point I would like to tell. See, for example, assume that here I am writing, this is customer types. Customer types. List of string customer types. So now I would like to tell you that there is no ambiguity now. No need of using qualifier, no need of using primary. This is what I want to tell. In collections, that is what I'm telling. In collections, while auto varying a collection dependency, Spring is going to check, is there any object, collection object in container whose name is matching with the property name or not? Are you understanding what I'm saying now? Give me your reply. Are you understanding what I'm saying now? Yeah. See, now my application doesn't get any error. My application doesn't have any error now. My application will run perfectly. If I print this customer types list through a code or using a for loop, if I print all the customer types, then I'm going to get output like distributor, wholesaler, all, but I don't get any exception. I don't get any exception. That is what I'm, while injecting collections, a small difference is injecting objects, injecting collection objects have a small difference. While injecting a collection object, first Spring will check, is there any collection object in container whose name is matching with the property name or not? Right? If matched, then injects that object. If not matched, then it is going to check type. Collection object in container matching with the property type. See here, customer types. Actually, this list is registered in container with the name customer type, because when you write a bean method, by default, what happens? A bean registered in container with a method name as its ID, using its method name as ID. So this list is registered with a customer type. This list is registered with names. Okay. Are you getting my point? That is what I'm trying to tell. So now, your customer type's name is matching. Now this list is injected auto while. That is what I'm trying to say. So if, for example, it is not a customer type, say it is a some other name like only types. It is not a customer types, only types, for example. Then what's going to happen? Ambiguity occurs. And how the ambiguity can be resolved? With the help of either primary annotation, otherwise use at qualifier annotation, whatever it is. Hope you guys are have understood what I'm trying to say. Right. So this is right. Okay. Now somebody asking what if overloaded method. Okay. Overloaded method means I just want to tell you one thing. Again, this is another base point. When you are creating any bean methods, I would like to tell one thing. A bean method doesn't accept any parameters. When you create any bean method, the bean method doesn't accept any parameters from you, because these bean methods are get automatically executed whenever the configuration class is loaded. Whenever you are creating a bean method doesn't accept any parameters. So there is no question of overloading. If you want to overload a method, it should accept parameters first. It should have a parameters, and there must be a difference in either the number or types of the parameters, right? So I think you just got my answer. Bean methods in configuration class doesn't accept parameters. Right. Okay. So so we got some more basics today. Next, I will continue on Monday. I said already, do your payment by today or tomorrow. We have already given in the WhatsApp chat, contact 9866. Make a call to our coordinator 9866 177164. Make a call to this number. And on Monday, the session continues with this link only. Next, I'll tell you how to change, but session continues with the same link. Everyone, you just connect with this link only on Monday. You connect with the same link only on Monday at 6:30. Morning 6:30 on Monday, connect with the same link. This link only, what link you used to connect today, the same link will be continued even on Monday also. Okay, on Monday also. Okay, na? Right. So you just connect with the same link.